This year, if you learn how to manipulate your opponent's defensive AI, you'll have the upper hand, no question. Watch this clip closely. Pay attention to how my opponent's backline moves in sync with my trigger. That's not luck, that's control. These are the exact same techniques I've taught my students that took their game to another level. The same drills that helped Halfa's wing finally escape Division 8, turned Muscly from struggling to attack into someone winning 4 out of 5 matches, and got JC to 11 wins in champs. On a Friday, no less. I'm telling you this because it works. Whether you're an average player, a casual, or someone grinding for elite, this concept translates at every skill level. So lock in, because if you truly understand what I'm about to break down, you'll finally understand how attacking really works in EAFC 25. The issue with this year's game is that whenever your opponent drops back to set up their defensive shape like this, your attack is basically dead. Now, I don't mean literally dead, but that's the mindset I want you to start adapting to. Because once your opponent's midfielders drop back and sit right in front of their backline, your attack becomes predictable and crowded. Every passing lane gets blocked, and every forward movement you try feels like it's going straight into a wall. At that point, forcing the play will only make things worse. You'll lose the ball, get countered, and start feeling like nothing is working. So instead of trying to break through 10 players sitting behind the ball, the smarter thing to do is recognize the moment, slow down, recycle possession, and reset the attack, create space again. But more importantly, what we really want to focus on this year is killing our prey during the counter-attack. That's where this game is won. The defensive AI is so strong once it's set that your best chances come before it has time to get back in shape. That's why learning how to manipulate your opponent's defensive AI is such a game changer. When you understand how to trigger and bait their defenders into opening gaps, how to move them just a few steps out of position, you create those golden moments to get in behind. That's when the game becomes easy. So in this video, we're diving deep into that exact concept, manipulating your opponent's defensive AI, how it works, how to use it to your advantage, and how to finally break down even the most defensive players in EAFC 25. Let's break this clip down. We just won the ball back, and the first thing we do is slow the tempo. That's on purpose, because the last thing you want after regaining possession is to lose it right away in your own half. Take your time, scan the field, and move with intention. You don't have to be fast. Just be quick and smart with your decisions. Now look closely at my opponent's setup. He's playing in a 4-4-2, and right now, both of his midfielders and attackers are still in my half, pressing high and trying to win the ball back. His defenders, though, are sitting around the halfway line, holding their shape. This is where most players panic and try to force a pass upfield. But that's not what we want to do here. Our goal is to manipulate his defensive AI and force his backline to drop deeper. Why? Because when we push that line back, we create a gap between his midfield and defense, the space that's going to become our launch pad for the attack. To do this, watch how I trigger my left mid first. That simple movement forces his AI defenders to take a few steps back to cover the run. Then instead of rushing, I trigger my right mid on the other side, which pulls his entire shape even wider and deeper. By doing this, we're stretching his team vertically and horizontally at the same time. That's how you take control of the tempo and dictate the rhythm of the game. You're not just reacting to your opponent, you're making their AI move exactly how you want it to. One of the best ways to take this to the next level and really control how your opponent's AI moves is by using player locks. If you can player lock onto your winger or striker and make a run toward open space, it becomes almost unstoppable. But here's the thing, you don't even have to run into open space for this to work. Sometimes, just running directly toward the opponent's defenders with the player lock is enough to manipulate their backline. When you do that, their defensive AI automatically drops deeper to track the run. And that's exactly what we want. Once that happens, you've created space between their defense and midfield. Now from that position, you can trigger your wingers to make runs in behind, and the whole structure of their defense starts to collapse. This small detail, just using player locks intentionally to move defenders, completely changes how effective your attacks are. It's not just about skill moves or pace anymore. It's about understanding how to control the AI and make it react to you, not the other way around. Honestly, if you understand how important it is to constantly trigger your attackers in every single attack, you're going to become almost unstoppable in this game. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. This one concept alone separates the average player from the elite ones. Every single top player you see doing well right now is constantly triggering runs. There's never a moment where their attackers are standing still. Every time you're building up, especially when you're on the counterattack, you need to be creating movement. Whether that's through a player lock, a 1-2 pass, or just an L1 trigger, your players need to be moving towards space. Don't wait for the game to make the runs for you. You create them. The most common mistake players make is that they pass and then just watch. They admire the pass instead of thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. You can't play that way in EAFC 26. The defensive AI is too sharp now. It adapts, it tracks, and if you stand still, it resets instantly. The moment your attack slows down, you lose the element of surprise. That's why I always tell my students, don't rush the pass. Let the player run into the space first, or at least start the run before you release the ball. This creates a natural rhythm and forces the defense to react to you, not the other way around. Here's how you should structure it. Trigger your CAM first, then your striker, and finally your left mid or right mid, depending on where you're building the play. Keep that chain of movement flowing. The goal is to have at least 2 or 3 players always making forward runs, even if you don't plan to pass to all of them. Why? Because those runs stretch the AI backline, open passing lanes, and create gaps for your other attackers to exploit. And that's the biggest reason why most players struggle. They simply don't trigger enough. Their team looks static, every pass feels forced, and the attack dies before it even starts. Once you start adding constant triggers, your game completely transforms. You'll notice your opponents panicking, defenders getting pulled out of position, and through balls becoming easier than ever. Also, make sure your key attacking players, especially your striker and cam, have the incisive playstyle. That's a huge difference maker this year. Players with incisive naturally make smarter, more aggressive runs in the space. And when combined with manual triggers, it's lethal. They'll drag defenders out, open up your wingers, and create one-on-one opportunities that weren't there before. So every single attack, make it a habit. Don't just pass. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Trigger the run before the pass, even if you're not going to use it. Keep your opponent's backline moving. Never let them rest, and you'll start breaking down defenses with ease. Once you master this, you'll realize how simple attacking in this game can actually be. It's all about controlling movement before the ball even gets there. Also, let's talk about dribbling, because dribbling and dribbling into space are absolutely crucial in the final third this year. Once you've triggered your players and stretched the defense, it's your close control that finishes the job. The difference between scoring and losing possession often comes down to how well you can carry the ball into open space and keep your composure in tight areas. In the clips you're seeing here, I go over exactly how to do this in my private retro academy. Inside the academy, I break down these moments step by step, the timing of your left stick movement, how to use R1 effectively, when to cut in, and how to bait defenders before accelerating past them. My students have been able to replicate it easily, and the results have been insane. They're not only improving fast, but they're also enjoying the game again, because they finally understand what to do in every attacking situation. I'm constantly adding new lessons, new breakdowns, and fresh gameplay examples every week. It's not just random clips. It's me, the real person behind the channel, explaining and teaching everything the same way I do in my one-on-one coaching sessions. So if you become a member or get coached by me directly, you'll have full access to all the videos, breakdowns, and in-depth tutorials inside the academy. And if you want to take it even further with personal one-on-one coaching, you can find all the detail in the link in the description and also the pinned comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, lock in, keep improving, and have a great rest of your day.